Hey, what's up, team? It's Joe Mill here with Killer Miller Q. We are back for another good cook. Today, we got a couple things going on. We're going to be sliding over to the pellet grill. I'm actually going to be doing some bacon wrapped chicken lollipops for you. And we also going to be reviewing some of Costco's pellets over there. So we're going to get straight to it. I'm going to let you see what we got going on, and then I'm going to show you how we make this cook happen. Alright, man, cut the music. Had to throw me a lid on. Way too hot out here. We're gonna try to make this quick. Before we get to that chicken, I want to take a quick second to shoot a shout out to CJ over at Mama and Papa Joe's. If you didn't see our interview this past Thursday, it was a great barbecue conversation. I'll put a link so you can check into it. Make sure that you take the time to give him a like, subscribe, let him know the Killer Miller sent you, and keep an eye out for us doing a nice little preseason kickoff to football season. I know you're going to like that. We're going to do a little takeover for the weekend. But with that said, let me bring you in close. Before I bring out this chicken, I want to make sure that you see the star of the show, which is this shirt. Okay? What it tells you right here is this pig is basically a special creature that turns vegetables into bacon. You got to love that. We're about to get to this pig. We're going to get to this chicken. Hold tight. All right, so you see everything we need pretty much right here. I got my kitchen shears that are only dedicated to my chicken, and I went with my little paring knife, a little smaller, respectfully sharp, but and then here we go. Of course, we got our little drumsticks. Okay, nothing too special here to see. Basically, all we're gonna be doing is cleaning these up, making it where these are pretty much nothing but the fattier pieces will be nothing but meat in them, and we'll get rid of a lot of those tendons and stuff that a lot of people don't like too much. Kids love these. It's gonna be something that's real cool for like a party or something like that, but not too hard. I pretty much already took the liberty of getting the rest of these already made up, but I want to show you how to do a couple. So pretty much once I get these all cleaned up and made, the process that we're gonna be doing is I'm gonna be starting off with this quad all-purpose rub. This rub is right here is pretty savory. It says it's an all-purpose rub, but it's got a lot of sugar to it, and it's got a little bit of flavor. So I'm gonna try to hide that by putting that underneath directly on the chicken to give me a little bit of flavor and a little bit more of that savory taste. And then we're gonna finish these babies off right on top with a little bit of that Meat Church Holy Voodoo. That's gonna be good right there. So let's dive into this chicken. First thing that I want to do is to start to push down and pull down the skin more or less on the chicken. And all I'm doing is I want to make sure that it's nice and even, and I want to get the majority of it down here towards the bottom. And then pretty much what we're going to be doing then is we're going to go to pretty much where the meat more or less starts, where it stops being skinny, and we're going to be making a circular cut all the way around. So I'm going to pull this meat down like that, and I'll hold it down here at the fat end. I'm going to grab my knife, and I want you to actually cut pretty hard into the bone, because those tendons don't go away easy. Try to make sure I stay in here where you can actually see what's going on. But we're going to keep going all the way around and cut through those tendons. And then usually I'll kind of start scraping it up just so I can see if I still got to go some more. As I can see, I got some right there. Okay, let's give it a shot. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pull it right over the back of this knuckle. All of this junk. We'll pull that right back over this knuckle. Now, with wet chicken, and believe me, mine's starting to already get warm being out here in this heat, gets a little tough to handle. It's always the best when it comes fresh out the refrigerator. But you can always, kind of like when we're doing, getting your membrane off from your ribs, you can always grab you a paper towel, and that always will kind of help too. So what I'm doing now is I'm just kind of cleaning up some of this stuff on the bone, and this is purely cosmetic because truthfully, by the time this all cooks, the little bit that's left will burn all away. But we pretty much took off all of that. We got this. Now I'm kind of starting to make my okay sign, right? And all I'm going to do now is pull this bone towards me and push the meat away. And all I'm doing now is making that lollipop. I'm pushing all that meat down. You might see some tendons or some of that nasty stuff come out the top. Pull it up. And then go ahead and either cut it off with your knife or clip it with your shears. This one here pretty much doesn't look like I got a lot, but there's always one more thing that I like to get rid of. Move out the way so you can hopefully focus in on that. If you can see that bone right there, that bone was actually surprisingly sharp. They call that like the little toothpick. What I like to do is I'm gonna take my knife right along on the inside of that bone, and I run right along the side of the bone, and then I turn my knife just like that. And all that's gonna do is pop that bone out a little bit. A lot of times you can actually hear it break. Then I try to go in there as far as I can down, and this one's being real nice. It's gonna actually just let me just pull it right out. And I'm gonna show you a little bit. I can stick you with this. I mean, this could definitely cut my glove or something. I mean, it's pretty sharp. So, I mean, it's one of those things you don't have to take out, but while we're in there, we're doing all that cleanup. I like to go ahead and get it off of there so it's nice and pretty. From there, I'm gonna hit my OK sign again, push that down, and now I'm just kind of moving that skin around just to make it nice and pretty. And there you go. This is basically what we're making for these lollipops. At the end, we're gonna cover these up just to kind of keep them pretty so they don't end up burning. But that's pretty much all it takes to make the lollipop. Like I said, if there's more tendons and stuff sticking out, you can trim those or cut those with your shears, but that's pretty much it. So let's do another one. Okay, first things first, pull this meat down, or pull the skin down. I want it to get nice and covered as best as I can before I end up cutting it. Hold the fat side. I'll make my cuts 360 in a circle. Make sure we cut through the tendons and all the nastiness. Try to keep that circle pretty symmetrical so we can keep them pretty, so you can look good at the party. There's a good look at some of those tendons and stuff, right? That is all the nasty stuff that you don't want to be eating. You don't want to serve that. So we're going to get rid of that so you get a chance to see that one up close. Okay, it's a little bit still attached. This one has lots of tendons. Every one's a little different. Okay, so from there, I'm going to the knuckle, and I'm just gonna pull all of this meat right over the top, just like that. All right, it might get stuck. I usually kind of pinch it, and then I just kind of like lightly cut loose the tendons or whatever else is kind of holding it, and pull it off some more, and then we'll trim off all the nastiness. Everything we don't necessarily want, let's get rid of it now before we get to seasoning. And then once we cook, we should end up with nothing but that pretty. All of these tendons, I want to get down there as low as I can to get rid of as much of those as I can. Keep in mind, we're cooking legs, so dark meat. I'm probably going to take these to a good 180, 185, something like that. So a lot of that stuff will get rendered and killed away. But if I can get rid of it before I even start, let me try my scissors. That will make life that much easier and that much cleaner. Oh, it's so hot out here. There we go, let's try that. So I barely got a grip. And I don't want to knock you down by getting too crazy on my saw game. And one last little tendon, holding on for dear life. Now some people like to use like a needle nose pliers, and they'll pretty much do just like that. Grip that tendon and just pull the whole thing out. Sometimes you get a little bit of meat with that too. Sometimes I don't always love that, but them needle noses is nice. Okay, okay sign. Push everything down. You'll feel that stick. It's always laying on the side of the bone. You can see it right there, right? Take my knife. I'm gonna run it right on the inside of there, and we'll clean that up too, don't worry. And all we're gonna do is expose that stick, and then we're going in there to go deep to get it out. Pull it away, take my shears, I'm going down as deep as I can. I'll snip that, and you might have to snip away a little bit of the meat that's holding it. And that's coming right out. And there's that toothpick that we don't want. Right, so we throw that to the side. And now there was a little bit more stuff up here that I didn't like. I don't want to leave that. Get rid of that. Stretch my skin back out, hit it with that OK sign and push it back down. And that is meat, but it don't look pretty. So let's get it out of there. I actually have a little bit of tendon on it too. Boom, boom, nice. Okay. So now you see more or less how we get to the lollipop. So the next thing we're gonna do, get some of this stuff out of here. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna lightly season these with my first rub. And remember, you can use whatever rub you want. If you use something like a SPG, keep in mind, bacon is salty. I don't want a ton of salt on here because I already know they're gonna end up with a decent amount of flavor. If anything, I'm just trying to get them a little bit of something to give me something savory. So this actually got more of a sweeter taste, and it's got some good savory elements in it. So I wanna make sure that that sugar doesn't end up burning up on here. So that's one of the reasons why I'm putting this on as the first coat of the rub. So I can kind of hide it almost. Think of it like that. Make sure you get the bottom. I don't need a super coat on there, just a basic one. These things are gonna get double coated with 2 rubs. They're gonna be wrapped in bacon, and we got sauce on the back end, so I'm not worried about flavor. I'm just making sure we got some good seasoned chicken. Boom. Simple as that. Okay? That's about the only layer you need on there. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna come back, and now we're gonna wrap these. All right, so what I like to do is I like to start with the meat part of the bacon at the bottom. Obviously, you can do it however you want. I'm gonna start at the bottom, and I like to make sure that I get me a decent amount of an overlap. There's that wind. It's all right, as hot as it is out here right now, I'll take it. Give me a decent overlap, and then from there, I'm coming right back over the top. And we're gonna get a chance to make these all pretty and really form them into exactly how I want them to look. This is just the beginning. Okay, so we got it basically on there, right? Doesn't look the prettiest, but it's on. This is what I'm gonna do. Going right back to that OK sign, and the first thing I wanna do is tighten up this neck. I got the OK sign. Now I'm gonna go ahead and cover it from the bottom, kind of make it like it's already gonna be. Start making that ball effect happen. From there, and then know that you don't really have to worry about toothpicks or anything. Once this bacon cooks, it's gonna lock in this shape that you've already set up. And that's basically what we're doing. Keep in mind, I'm outside. It is about 105 or so today, and we got about 50% humidity. So needless to say, it's blazing. I'm dripping sweat. This bacon is already wet. This chicken has come up to wave temp. Normally when you got this in the house and you getting all of this prepped up, it's gonna be cold. It'll be a lot easier to work with than what you're seeing right now. Not that it was really that hard, but just something that you can know. All right, so that one's good. I'm gonna do this one. We're gonna season the outside, and I'm gonna show you the rest of them, and we're good to go. Started right at the bottom. I like to start pretty low. Keep it all grouped together as best you can. And we're just gonna tailor our way up to the top. Hold it, cup the bottom, OK sign more or less on the top. Let's start shaping it. Like a pear on a stick. Just like that. Nothing too crazy. All right. The last thing I got to do on this one is hit it with a little bit of this meat church, holy voodoo. Nice and savory. Same thing, hit the bottom, a decent amount over the top. You don't got to kill it. Give it a tap, moving right on. Hit the bottom. Form it all up. Boom. I'm gonna bring you back, let you see the rest of these. That's what you got there. And then we're going straight to the smoker. We got it already going and fired up. We got the Green Mountain going at 250. Let me go over here and show you these pellets we're gonna be testing out today from Costco. Hey team, I wanted to jump in here real quick and tell you thanks for following along on today's cooks. If you are new to the channel, make sure that you go to that bottom right corner, take a second to subscribe, check out some of the other cooks that you've already missed, as well as there's always going to be a new one coming every week. And for everybody that's been here, I appreciate you like always. We're going to keep this thing going. We got some good stuff coming up soon. Be on the lookout for our preseason kickoff with CJ and Mama and Papa Joe's. Other than that, let's get back to the work. So this is the second part of our video. Came across these at Costco. The Kirkland brands barbecue hardwood pellets. They got their own premium blend that they put out now, and pretty much you're looking at it: oak, hickory, maple, and cherry. This whole bag, 40 pounds, $12.99, 100% natural. Needless to say, I have to find out if these are okay just because of the price point alone. I can't say that I'm necessarily the biggest pellet snob. I've tried a few different ones. I usually try to make sure that I get something that's 100% natural, and for me, most of all, my food have all came out great. The only big difference I usually ever notice is that sometimes some of the other pellets might give off and create more ash than others. Other than that, I think when you're on the pellet grill, I mean, I can't get the same flavor and smoke as I can off my offset, so I like to try to usually, if I'm not doing a blend that I like, go with a stronger pellet, something like hickory or something like that, because it usually kind of shines through on the meat. But other than that, I usually find about the same on everything that I've used so far. I don't know. I'm sure other people got different opinions. But for me, I definitely want to find out if this is worth it. So we're going to try this on a few cooks, few different temperatures. Today we're going to be using it on that chicken. I decided to go with 275 instead of 250. So I already got my hopper loaded up with these pellets. We're going to see how these smoke today, along with a few other cooks here on the Green Mountain. And then I'll do a review and let you know what I think. All right, Green Mountain is up to temp. We got those pellets loaded in, and we got the chicken on. Look at my lone soldier over there. When I came out the package, I had a broken bone, so I decided to still make him up, sit him over to the side. He has nothing to do with us. He will be a little friend for us to taste on later. But other than that, there are our stars. We got them all wrapped, we got them all seasoned. We put a little aluminum foil on the top of those bones just to keep them pretty. I'm gonna leave this thing in here and let them hang out for about an hour. We'll check on temps and everything. Like I said, I'll probably go to about 180, 185. Maybe by the time we get to around 175, we'll get them in their sauce. All right, team, bring you in here. Green Mountain, like always, is running steady Freddy. Let's take a peek. We had about 56 minutes. I had to get over here. We look good. Now you can already tell when you look at that skin. That's why I was telling you, don't worry too much. And I like to keep me some at the bottom. That skin will tighten up right around that meat, and they are locked in now. They ain't got to go nothing. Look at my poor little homie over there. Man, that might be the thumbnail pic. Just take a picture of him. I'm gonna flip these around. I'm gonna spray them with a little bit of olive oil, crisp up that skin, keep them nice and moist, and we keep it going. In there real quick just to show you something as we going through these pellets. They have not been burning through fast, just as a random thing. I'm just kind of checking out, and I know I've heard sometimes that some of those temps can spike or maybe burn low or whatever have you when you got maybe shitty pellets or whatever have you. I've been holding strong at this 275, and I have noticed that it's a pretty good smell coming out of here as far as smoke with that blend that's coming from this Costco bag. So far so good. We'll see on the back end, and then definitely, like I said, in cooks to go, I'll let you know how it looks too when I clean it out. All right, team, we are a little over 2 hours. I just pumped my temp up to 300. Let me tell you, it sure did get there quick. I barely had a chance to come back. I already temped these real quick with my ThermoPro Insta-Read thermometer, but they're looking pretty good. I'm still about 10 degrees out from where I want to be. I moved my little homie over here more towards where I found to be kind of more the hot spot in my grill. You see these babies dripping off all that good fat. I still want to render out a little bit more. I'm not going to do too much other than I'm going to rotate this 180 so it's going to be straight up and down, and then I'm going to leave them there and let them go for about another 15-20 minutes before I check the temp again, and then hopefully, let's get in there close, let's get in there real close. Hopefully they should be just about ready for us to dunk them in them sauce, let them set through for a little bit, and then finally we can get us a taste. And let me tell you something, it smells amazing out here. These pellets to me seem to be working just fine. My heat is staying cool. As you can see, my pellet hopper hasn't moved too much as far as how much pellets has been going through. I've been running 275, just kicked up to 300, and we a little over 2 hours now. So with it said, so far so good. Still rolling. GMG, I love it. I got the old school. They didn't change the names now. I got the Daniel Boone. This thing works solid for me. Man, it's the late night out here in AZ, man. I'll give you a quick peek into the life of Joe Millie. But let me tell you something. You see the time. Hopefully you might be able to see that temperature. We just now getting inside 100 degrees. with the humidity well over 50%. Man, it's still blazing out here, man. I'm trying to tell y'all, you wonder why a lot of these cooks end up at night. I might die if I was out there in the day. 18, steady Freddy at that 300. Still don't got too much pellet movement. This thing's been burning great. We had a little over 2.5 hours. I just temped these babies out. As you can see, my ThermoPro sitting out here came out great. And the other thing you can see, and big shout out to my boy over there with Black Smoke Barbecue, Jeff at Outdoor with Jeff. Let me tell you, this mambo sauce, I finally got a chance to try this. This sweet hot mambo sauce is nice, and one thing I like is thin, so it's probably gonna be great to coat these babies with. So I know I already tempt them. We already sitting real nice at somewhere between 175-ish, even some of them already at 180. So basically all I want to do at this point is dip them over here in this sauce and give them a quick second to let that tack up. And we're gonna get these babies off, let them rest, and we're gonna get us a taste one. So I'm pulling them off to the side. I can probably go ahead and get rid of that. And then you can see, basically this is why, again, literally something that you don't have to do. It's only on there so these bones end up looking pretty. All right, so I'm just gonna dip this right in here. Get us a nice coating of this mambo sauce. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna let this tack up, and then I'm gonna coat them once again before they actually get a chance to set. And I'm gonna get rid of this rack. And I ain't mentioned much about this rack, but it's good to have. I like it. It's pretty. It definitely does the job. I could have easily just sat these right there on the rack, and they probably would have been just fine. But I do like it. I do like it. I like the suspension game. It almost reminds me of being in like an ugly drum smoker or something like that. Get this one all coated up and nice and pretty. Should I bring you in there? You won't see it. That's what we got. I'm gonna do the rest of these. I'll let you see what they look like. There we go. Let that thing focus in there a little bit. There go the first saucing. I'm gonna hit them with one more. Had to save me a couple that was regular for my little baby. This mambo sauce. I'm sure I'm probably saying it wrong. It tastes great. It's not that hot at all. It's got a nice little sweet tightness and zing to it. But this right here I think is gonna do good. It's nice and thin, so I'm gonna let this get a little second to kind of tack up. I'm gonna hit them one more time so they'll be nice and glazed, and we'll pull them out of here and let them rest. Okay. Let's get in here nice and close and check these babies out. You see, after roughly, what was it, 2.5 hours, they was pretty much ready to go. All I was more or less doing was going back in there, let that sauce set. Definitely could have sauced them bones if I really wanted to make these things pretty, but I mean, I didn't really care. I was ready to eat this chicken, to be honest with you. But I like what we got. I like what we got. This mambo sauce, Jeff, again, I appreciate you. Again, check out Outdoors with Jeff if you never have before. Great channel, lots of great info, and a lot of great cooks. But this sauce is definitely good. I like that. And then, like always, my handy dandy ThermoPro always comes through, and it's what I always go with. Let's get in here and get this taste test. All right, team, we back, and you already know I'm ready to get my taste in. One thing I will say, them Costco pellets, while it's only been one run, they did absolutely fabulous. My temperature stayed steady. I didn't have no flare-ups, nothing goofy like that. It smelled amazing the whole time. So at the end of the day, so far, I'm happy. We're gonna do a couple more cooks. That one there, we took about 2.5 hours. We mostly stayed at 275. We kicked it up to 300 the last half hour or so, and then letting that sauce set. But at the end of the day, I think they did pretty decent. But right now, let's get into the chicken. Come on over. These are my glazed babies right here, as you just saw. I'm trying to figure out who is going to be the sacrificial lamb for today's competition tasting, and this is going to be the one. All right, you know, let's always start off with a smile. Before I go there, make sure if you haven't, like, subscribe, comment, tell me some of the other things that you want to see. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And other than that, Killer Miller here from Black Smoke Barbecue. That came out great. I tell you what, it's a pain in the butt to mess with this chicken. You know, I'm gonna talk with my mouth full. It's a pain in the butt to clean this chicken out, but it's so much of a better bite and a better cook at the end if you do. This is great. Super tender. I like those rubs that I put together. Not salty at all. And that sauce is a winner. I'm definitely on board now. Catch y'all next week. Joe Mill here with Killer Miller Q. I appreciate y'all. Joe Mill here with Killer Miller Q and Black Smoke Barbecue. I'll catch y'all next week. Peace.